Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bank of America Roval 400. We are almost halfway done with this season in its entirety for the Cup Series. Sorry I'm a little late on this one today, by the way. This was supposed to start a couple hours ago. I am very extremely sorry if any of you have to miss it because of that. But without further ado, we're going to get into this one. So, because I'm later on this one, we're probably going to have to push back the start time for the Coke 600 later today. It will not be at 5 o'clock. I'd probably end up pushing closer to 7, 8 o'clock or so. So for those of you that are looking forward to that as well, you can look forward to that tonight as this is the first race of our doubleheader. We're going to get on with qualifying here in a quick second, and then we're going to end up with the race soon after. So thanks for everybody tuning in here. Starlin Dixon, Jacob Westbrook, welcome. And we're going to kick off qualifying here. Jimmy Johnson has scored 2 poles this season. So you see Ryan Blaney racing Jimmy off of pit road here. First race at the Charlotte Roval this season. We will race here again in the playoffs. The third road course race of the year. Johnson won at Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Can he get the win here at the Charlotte Roval here today? This will be interesting. No practice, but we are qualifying here. Again, session qualifying as usual for the road course races. Just 2 rounds though. Oh man, big bounces over the curbing through that backstretch chicane. Again, with no practice, it'll be a lot harder to hit our marks here, but gonna give it a go. Feels like in this infield portion of the racetrack, seems like Johnson's actually gaining a little bit of ground on Ryan Blaney right now. Again, Blaney was the first one to hit the line here in round 1 of qualifying. Oh, Johnson got a little tight there into the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of time right before he gets onto this faster portion of the racetrack. In fact, the fastest portion of the track. Back onto the oval surface through turns 1 and 2. Then into the backstretch chicane, a high braking zone. Couple sets of corners here. Through the chicane, quick left, right, and another right. That was a big bounce off the curb there. You're going to see these curbing turtles, whatever you might call them, play a big factor for sure here today. Alistair Moore, welcome to the stream. Just got to make it to the top 12 through round 1, a 118, or sorry, a 119, and very late into the braking zone there in the Tums Heartburn turn in turn 1. But anyway, lap 1, 119.069. Johnson's probably going to have to pick up the pace here on lap 2, and he's not off to a great start. Track position means so much when you come to these road course races. So a good qualifying effort is needed. Ryan Blaney's time was at the top of the charts there ahead of us, a 118.211. About 0.8 of a second faster. That time we got through the backstretch chicane about perfectly. That's going to make up a lot of time here on lap 2. Johnson driving it in deep now through the front stretch chicane. Quicker, 118.630. 13th, just missing the final round of session qualifying, and not by much, by about 0.05 of a second, a little less than that even. Daniel Suarez wins round number 1 to advance to round 2. So very interesting there. But Johnson will qualify 13th for the show today. It looks like he's going to start 11th. We got a couple guys going to the rear of the field here in this one. Chase Elliott on the pole, looking to win back-to-back races here at the Charlotte Roval. Oh, wow. Daniel Suarez, unfortunately, to the rear of the field. Looked like he had a fast car in qualifying, too. Brendan Gaughan also starting at the rear, as well as John Hunter Nemechek. So, here we go. Johnson from the 11th starting spot after qualifying 13th will have to come through the field. Ravish, welcome to the stream. Yeah. I don't know if that was necessarily realistic, but he is starting at the back nonetheless. Chase Elliott leads the field into turn 1, lap 1. Look at Johnson, a big wheel hop into the first turn. Trying to outbreak a couple of these guys who started in the top 10 here. Ty Dillon working on Ricky Stenhouse now. Side-by-side action through the field as Chase Elliott pulls ahead a couple car lengths. Johnson beats Dillon back to the gas. Able to get around him. Now drives it in deep into the next set of corners. Not as deep as Ty Dillon, though. 3 wide through the infield portion of the racetrack right now on lap 1. Look at Johnson just trying to move up through the field. Oh, door slams Harvick. Very aggressive to get up to 5th. Joey Logano, Eric Almirola currently side drafting one another. Here comes Johnson to the bottom. 3 wide makes the pass. How quickly Johnson was able to get up to 3rd. Kurt Busch trying to run down Chase Elliott. That couldn't have been a better start for Johnson. They're still going side by side through the chicane back behind us. Logano and Almirola cannot get away from one another as the top 3 have completely pulled away from the rest of the field. Took Johnson a little bit of time. The 2 drivers that started on the front row. Elliott leads lap 1 at the Charlotte Roval today. This is a 109 lap race on a road course that is just over 2.3 miles in length. Kurt Busch has ran down Chase Elliott, but it's going to be tough to pass that car in clean air. That and the fact Elliott very rarely makes mistakes on these road courses. He is very, very good. And it seems like even when he does make mistakes, he comes back from them, much like at the Charlotte Roval last season in the playoffs. JC Does Stuff, welcome to the stream. Couple of big bounces off the curbs there. Johnson back to the gas a little bit later than the 2 cars ahead of him, but he is slowly running down Elliott and Kurt Busch. It seems like Johnson's fastest portion of the track, as we saw in qualifying, seems to be through that infield portion of the track. Meanwhile, Joey Logano back behind us is gaining a little bit of ground on us in the 4th spot as he is caught and cleared Almirola. Look at that hop off the curb. The rear tires came up off the ground on Johnson's car off the exit of the front stretch chicane. Gonna have to keep track of the tire wear throughout the course of the race today as well. Again, road course racing seems to wear out the tires quite a bit. A very bumpy and hilly section through the infield portion of the track. A lot of elevation changes, believe it or not. Very bumpy, of course. They never had to worry about repaving this area of the track, I would have to assume, with it not being used until 2018 in the inaugural Roval race. Called 88. King, welcome to the stream. And the way Johnson is braking really late through these chicanes, you better hope he can make it through them throughout the course of the day today. As look at Joey Logano, he has absolutely caught Johnson off the exit of that backstretch chicane. Almirola sitting in 5th right now, just ahead of Stenhouse. Stenhouse had a great day at Watkins Glen earlier this season. Finished in the top 5. It was constantly a threat inside the top 5 throughout the course of the day, so maybe he could be a contender in this one. Kurt Busch and Elliott have not battled much as Johnson misses the braking zone through turn 3. Logano could not capitalize though. I'm very surprised that Johnson is still catching up. I feel like Kurt Busch is much faster than Chase Elliott. He has just not been able to get around him. But again, they haven't gotten side by side. So another reason I'm surprised Johnson is being able to catch these guys as quick as he is. Look out for Logano going into this backstretch chicane on Johnson. He is within striking distance this time. Kurt Busch maybe looking to dive it in a little deeper on Elliott himself here. Great set of corners. Jimmy was not going to mess that up this time. About as fast as he's gotten through there so far today. Running a little wider here, maybe trying to... And it's a little risky. Almost gave the room up to Logano, but he was looking to drive it in a little deeper in doing so. Great set of corners by Johnson. Definitely helped the cornering exit speed there. Jimmy's best corner seems to be through turn 1 for the most part. He's really gaining a ton of time there. The top 4 all within striking distance of the lead. Oh, Johnson, big bounce off the curb, and there goes Logano. Big wheel spin by Jimmy. That car was pointed towards that inside wall on the exit of the corner. Johnson loses a little bit of time, and Logano is up to 3rd. Almirola has not been able to catch this top 4 right now. Boy, lap traffic's going to play a big factor today. This is a very tough road course to pass. Very few passing zones. So when you get an opportunity like Logano did a little bit ago, you have to take advantage of it, especially knowing that Johnson is so good through the infield portion of the track. He's not expecting Logano to get on by him there, but you really got to stay off the curbs as much as possible. It's difficult through the chicanes, but just on the infield portion of the track, it's very, very difficult. And also remember, Johnson has DNF'd 3 times this year. Granted, once was because of the glitch of the game at New Hampshire, but he has DNF'd a few times this year. Can't afford it this late in the regular season, and in battle with Kevin Harvick for the regular season title. Johnson sends it into turn 3 on Logano. Could not get around him there. Went for it all. Now through turn 4, he's there again. And he's going to stay there. Big side draft by Johnson on Logano. Trying to get around him. And he's going to do it. Johnson back up. Chase Elliott has led every lap in the early going so far. The Charlotte Roval here today. Johnson really late into the braking zone. I don't know how he didn't get a penalty for that, but he cut a lot of time there through the backstretch chicane. They seem to get back to the gas a lot sooner than Jimmy, but Jimmy seems to roll in there a lot faster. Big run. Johnson right to the back bumper of the one of Kurt Busch. Johnson accidentally downshifts to first gear. That definitely didn't help. Elliott pulls slightly ahead of Kurt Busch. I mean, the top 4 are all within a second of each other. Usually don't see this on road course racing. We're still early into the race, though, just 7 laps in. Johnson runs a little wide, maybe trying to set up Kurt Busch, but that's going to give Logano a shot to get back underneath of Jimmy there for a quick second. Logano couldn't capitalize. By the way, using the controller here today, for those of you that did not recognize that earlier on. Oh wow, Logano drove it in deep. He is all over the back of the 48 car. Jimmy got through that section pretty well, but Joey Logano just absolutely drove it in deep. Got to his inside, but could not complete the pass. So a little bit of side drafting action costed Johnson a little bit of time from the top two, a little bit further up ahead. Logano loses a little bit more ground down through the front stretch chicane. I feel like this 22 car might be the fastest car in the field here early on. Johnson's got a big run on Kurt Busch. Johnson going for second. Through turns 3 and 4, he's going to complete the pass. Logano now going to try to follow Johnson. He gets to the inside of Kurt Busch. Hendrick now 1-2. Chase Elliott in the lead. Johnson in second. Johnson looking for his first lead of the race. Yep, just 9 more subscribers to 400. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the day. A double header action. Man, Logano, Kurt Busch really battling back there. They're losing a lot of time from where the top two are at. And I think with that being the case, this is the time for Jimmie Johnson to run down Chase Elliott and get around him. Elliott kind of pulls him through oval 3 and 4 there. Johnson really trying to set him up to drive it in deep. Oh, big hop off the curb that time by Elliott. Johnson closes right back in on him. Sends it into turn 1 to the inside. Oh, contact between the two teammates now. Jimmy is all over Chase, but he just can't get around him, and that has allowed Kurt Busch to close the gap again. Elliott is doing a great job blocking as well. Jimmy spins the tires a little bit. Oval portions of the track, I think he's really going to have to try and get a big draft. Very difficult with the lower rear spoilers compared to the intermediate tracks in this game as well as the super speedways. Kurt Busch all over the back. Jimmie Johnson, look at Eric Almirola has brought the field closer now. Look at this. I mean, you got about the top 9 cars all within about 3 seconds of the lead on a road course nonetheless. Elliott, another big hop on the curve. Johnson hits the wall hard. Jimmy hits the wall extremely hard, exiting the chicane. Logano gets on by for second. Kurt is up to third, and Johnson's got severe damage to the front of the race car. Right on that left front. And that is really going to mess with the horsepower in that race car. And the straightaway speed. Tried to overtake Elliott there, and Logano's really desperately trying to get around him himself. And this is not good for Jimmie Johnson, as he is quickly losing the top 3 now and having a tough time trying to hold off Kevin Harvick behind. It might mess with the handling of the car as well. I don't know how we're not getting a penalty through there. That's the second time Johnson's really cut it, but it does cut down the difference between the leaders and himself there just slightly. 10 laps into the race, we're already down to 65% tire wear in that right front. It gets down to 30%, or yeah, 30% or less. The grip in this race car is definitely going to go away. Look at Johnson though, finding a second wind. As long as Logano doesn't get around Elliott, as well as Kurt Busch for that matter, they both seem to be faster than him. But Chase, again, that's where the track position comes into play. Him qualifying on the pole, getting a good initial start to the race, has put him in this position to lead the first 10 laps. Aiden Rowland, welcome to the stream. Day's been going by so far so good. Again, sorry for the late stream. Accidentally slept in a little too long today. I didn't sleep in all the way to this time before I started it, but I woke up and I couldn't get done what I needed to get done soon enough. Oh, wow. Another big hop off the curb, and here comes Kevin Harvick to the outside of Jimmy Johnson, trying to side draft that right rear corner panel, slows each other down slightly, and Almirola about got right back underneath his SHR teammate there of Kevin Harvick. I mean, Logano's just desperately trying to get around Chase Elliott, and you wonder how long it'll be before he uses the bumper. Those two, of course, have had a bit of a rivalry going on in real life this season in the Cup Series. What'll happen here? Johnson's so good through those first couple corners, damage or not. And he is back to the back bumper of Kurt Busch. A little bump accidentally. Going to allow Jimmy to get to the outside of Kurt. Big side draft off that right rear. Oh, Kurt Busch just door slams Johnson right back. Johnson's got to completely get back in behind him in line. That slowed each other down quite a bit. Takes a little bit of pressure off Logano now. Kevin Harvick almost drove by Jimmy. Oh, man, all over into the back bumper of the one. Kurt Busch goes wide. Harvick about capitalized again. Ty Dillon having a great run. He's in 7th place right behind Almirola. The battle for 3rd has all of a sudden become more intense. Look at that run Johnson had off the exit of the chicane as he just blows by Kurt Busch on the outside. What a power move. Jimmy back up to 3rd. Oh, man. Small little mistakes here and there have definitely cost Johnson so far. Now Jimmy's kind of holding up the line behind him in 3rd place, trying to run down the 2 leaders. Lap traffic is going to be coming in the picture soon. You see one lap car not too far ahead of where Elliott's at. Going into this backstretch chicane here. Johnson cuts down a lot of time. Seems like we're able to actually kind of cut that corner slightly compared to prior NASCAR Heat games. Because we have not gotten penalized 3 times doing that now. It could be risky going through there every time just like that, but that could obviously help the 48 if we can find a little bit of a loophole there. Timmy Hill now holding up Chase Elliott through turns 3 and 4. This is the time for Logano to get by him because now Elliott doesn't have the clean air anymore. Logano is there. Side by side for the lead. Elliott has closed the gap with those two side drafting one another now. Oh, Jimmy takes it 3 wide for the lead to the bottom. Oh, and Kurt just shoves Johnson, and that ruins his shot of trying to get to the lead. Kurt Busch just absolutely moved Jimmy before he can make that 3 wide pass for the lead. Logano trying to get by Timmy Hill. And Kurt, with that little bump, loosened himself up. Look at Johnson shooting the gap. Oh, he runs into the back of the 9 of Elliott. And Elliott goes around through the backstretch chicane. What a save, though. He kept it off the wall and off of other drivers behind him. And all of a sudden, Johnson's got the lead. And here comes Logano to the inside as the car pushes up the track through oval 3 and 4. Side by side through the front stretch chicane. And Logano takes the lead all of a sudden. And he will lead his first lap of the race. Johnson does not. As Johnson holds on to second with Kevin Harvick trying to reel him in. Oh my goodness, another hit in the wall, and every single hit we take is looking worse and worse for this race car. And we're only 15 laps into the race. Harvick all over the back of the 48 as this 48 car has just gotten extremely tight now. It wasn't that bad at first with the heavy damage, but it is getting worse and worse. And we might have a problem with overheating here very soon. Just over 262 on the oil temperature. Wow, my goodness, big hops off the curb. And look at Ty Dillon now going for second. What a run by this 13 car. Remember, he already has a win on the season. He had won that race at New Hampshire. So he is locked into the playoffs, but even a second win, man, that would help Ty Dillon immensely. Johnson getting a great run through the front stretch chicane and into turn 1. Barely clearing Quinn Houff. Shoots the gap on Chastain. Bubba Wallace now right in front of Joey Logano, the race leader. Johnson with a clean pass clears Chastain, and Joey Logano in danger of losing the lead again now to Jimmy. Johnson shoots the gap to the inside using the lap car, and Bubba Wallace has a pick. Logano ducks in line behind Johnson to follow him through there. Jimmy back to the lead again, but he did not lead a lap the first time he had gotten to this point. He's trying to lead it this time. Look at this heavy lap traffic right in front of the race leader, Johnson, as well. Logano still trying to get around Bubba Wallace. He went side by side through the backstretch chicane. Very tough to go side by side through both chicanes on the track. If possible, you definitely want to clear somebody getting to that point. Johnson leads his first lap of the race on lap 17, though. But a huge line of lap traffic right in front of him could be costly. Caution free to this point in the race, by the way. Logano has really caught Johnson once again. Now the lap cars are just side by side right in front of Joey, as well as Johnson, though, as Johnson has to take lap cars Tyler Reddick and Matt Kenseth 3 wide back onto the oval portion of the track. Evan Board 23, welcome to the stream. Ooh, Jimmy barely clears Kenseth right before the high braking zone into the chicane again. Johnson with a big run now into Benedetto. Trying to beat him back to the gas. He's to his outside. Trying to stay away from that 21 car. Oh, contact! Benedetto goes up the track right into the side of Johnson. I think he was trying to side draft him, but he got completely into him. Johnson, though, still able to clear. Jimmy's led 2 consecutive laps now. If it wasn't for the lap traffic, I don't think Johnson would have a shot right now to try and lead this race. But Johnson, despite struggling in lap traffic himself, still getting through it better than the leaders behind him. He's got just over a 1 second lead on Logano. It's the biggest lead Johnson has had today. Still trying to get around the 2 lap cars right in front here. William Byron, Brad Keselowski. He got a little loose there. Barely kept it off the wall. He is there. In the draft to Keselowski. That might help him pull past Byron. Just 1 more lap car to deal with now for the 48. At least for the meantime, and that is Brad Keselowski in the 2. Big run, Jimmy in the draft, now to the outside of Keselowski. Just can't do it, though. Oh, crosses him over to the inside. Trying to outbrake him through the chicane. Great job by Johnson. Getting risky running through there side by side. He absolutely sent it. Able to quickly get on by. Logano's just got 2 more lap cars to work with, and that is William Byron and Keselowski, who we just passed. Keselowski might cut him a little bit of slack, but then again, Brad is battling for the free pass spot with Byron for 29th in case we do get a caution, so you might not let him go as easily as you might think. Logano just got by Byron, now he's working on Keselowski. Johnson up to about a 2-second lead. Crazy race at the Charlotte Roval early on, still caution free though. A lot of damage on the 48 car that needs to be repaired under that first pit stop, whenever that might come, whether it's under caution or under green flag conditions. But I think you're going to see Jimmy short pit here pretty soon. Try and gain a little bit of an advantage. You will not go a lap down here with short pitting as you would on any road course, so even repairing that damage will be, well, then again, no, we can't repair the damage. We have to be over the 5-second damage clock, so if we are, we cannot repair the damage. I almost completely forgot about that. Hasn't really come into play much, especially since the DNFs have become a little more harsh. So that is definitely troubling for this 48 team. Definitely made the race a lot harder for Johnson, trying to sweep the first 3 road courses of the season and win at every single one of the tracks this year. We still have 2 more road courses, regular season finale at Watkins Glen, and then we go back to the Roval for the last race of the first round of the playoffs. Logano is absolutely running down Johnson. Jimmy has the clean air though. No lap cars currently in front of him. Could be tough for Logano to get around him. We'll see. Logano definitely looks like the fastest car on the racetrack here today, at least in the early going. Jimmy gets through the backstretch chicane well. Logano not able to capitalize. He had gotten around Johnson at one point earlier in the race in that section. Jimmy's just really tight on the oval portion of the track with all the damage. Johnson beats Logano back to the gas. 89 to go. We are very close to that point where the right front tire will be under 30% tire wear, and you're going to see this 48 car really start to lose a lot of grip in the handling, and with as much damage as we have, it's definitely going to be a risky situation if we don't get a caution very soon. And that is why I'm considering short pitting here. Definitely want to run as long as we can, especially while we're in the lead. But the minute we lose that lead, I think we have to come down pit road. Ty Dillon in third still. He's about 3.5 seconds off the lead. Got another 3 to 3.5 seconds ahead of fourth place Kevin Harvick. Actually, Kurt Busch now. Harvick dropped outside of the top 5. I might have read that wrong. Kurt Busch is in fourth. Hamlin in fifth. Logano almost got underneath Jimmy again. John Hunter Nemechek, next driver, about to go a lap down here. Dwyer Davis, welcome to the stream. Oh, Lewis accidentally downshifting in first gear, and this is a shot for Logano to get around Johnson. Stuck right behind that 38 car of Nemechek. Johnson completely makes the pass about as quick as he could, and now Nemechek tries to cross him over. Logano takes it 3 wide. And about got around the 48 of Johnson there. Ty Dillon now within 1.5 seconds of the lead. Logano still all over the back of that 48. That was the opportunity that Joey had on Jimmy, but he could not capitalize. Johnson's lead continues. Oh wow, Logano about went to the outside there. Johnson through the braking zone of the chicane, gonna go a little wide, and here comes Joey Logano. Contact. And Logano with that door slam is going to get to the lead. Risky, but he got it done with that pass to the outside of Jimmy. And Ty Dillon now closing in. Johnson has lost the clean air to Logano. He's got a little bit of breathing room behind him, but... Oh, wow, Dillon. Johnson kind of checked up a little bit there, but Dillon still got into the back of him. And those tires are completely worn out, too, at least on the right front. That's all it takes, down to 27%. Johnson's definitely lost a little grip, and he is back to second place now as Ty Dillon is to that point, and he's going to maybe try to run down Joey Logano, perhaps. We'll have to see. Maybe he's taking care of his tires a little bit better. And he can make that run. Big gap still back to Kurt Busch. About 3 seconds back to Kurt, who is in fourth. Again, Hamlin right there. BC, welcome to the stream. Use the wheel. We will be using the steering wheel again very soon here. X Factor, welcome to the stream. Yes, the car is broken. Without a doubt. We have beaten it up pretty bad. Very surprised we have not DNF'd to this point, but every little hit matters more and more. We cannot repair damage. Under my own stipulation, my own rule, 5-second damage clock. Kind of similar to what the real-life damage clock is in NASCAR. They get 5 minutes to repair the car. I give myself 5 seconds. So if we have more than 5 seconds of damage, I cannot repair it. So that is the situation we play in here. I'm assuming, again, it's 5 seconds of damage. We have not made a pit stop yet today to clarify that, but I'd be very surprised if it was under 5 seconds. So Johnson's kind of left with this race car the rest of the race, and that might open the door for somebody else to get the win today. Logano still looks like the fastest car in the field, regardless of not if Jimmy Johnson had hit the wall repeatedly, but we got heavy damage to the right side, the front, especially on the front. The damage to the radiator and the engine. That big hop off the curb by Johnson got very loose. Big time save down the front stretch off the exit of that chicane. We're on lap 25 at the Charlotte Roval here today. 8 seconds off the lead now for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. I believe he's going to short pit this time. We're going to bring the 48 down pit road for our first stop of the race. Remember, this is a custom schedule season. That's why we're racing at the Roval right now for race 17 of the season. But we do come back to this racetrack in the playoffs. Definitely on that rough stretch of the season right now where we have the Charlotte Roval and then the Coke 600 for the second race of our doubleheader today. And then we go to Daytona and Talladega in the next 2 races as well. Very tough racetracks to get all the way to the end of the race. Hamlin, who has gotten to 4th, is now looking on Johnson for 3rd. Johnson wants to pit though, so he's going to give up the 3rd spot. So Jimmy Johnson down to pit road. 45 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Easily going to get down in time. Yeah, 14 seconds of damage, so we cannot repair that by our own rules. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel coming up for Johnson. He was 11.5 seconds off the lead at the timing of his pit stop on lap 25 here today. So likely looking like a 3 or 4 stop race. Likely a 4 stop race with Jimmy short pitting here. So hopefully we can make up the time. Still caution free to this point. Man, look at that nasty damage to the front of the race car. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty fast stop, though, for the 48 team. No adjustments, 4 tire change. And fresh tires, looking to make up as much time as we can. It's going to be difficult with the damage, but we'll see. 15.6 seconds is the difference. Or sorry, is the pit stop time. The difference between Johnson and the leaders as he falls back to 19th coming out of the pits. Jimmy Johnson. Speed, so not that bad in the grand scheme of things. It takes about a minute 17, minute 18 seconds at its fastest to get around Charlotte Roval, so we're about 3/4 of a track behind. We've got some breathing room. We've got fresher tires. So a lot of things coming into play here. Oh, goodness. Hops off the curb to the backstretch chicane. Dukes and hazarding it. Cole Custer, Daniel Suarez for position. Remember, Suarez started at the rear of the field in today's race. He has worked his way up to 17th. That's incredible. Again, so hard to pass on road courses. But he has made it work today. Johnson about overran the Tums Hartburn turn. Had to go down to first gear to get on the brakes hard enough to miss hitting the wall head on. Which definitely you would have to assume would end our day if we got to that point.
Careful, still there. Stay right. Left side. Left side.
Oh, contact, Michael McDowell. Trying to side draft him here, really trying to get around him as quickly as he can, especially before we get into the backstretch chicane. Johnson trying to outbrake him, and he does. Look at these guys going side by side. Oh, 3 wide. All of a sudden, now Johnson to the outside of Suarez. Just does not have the horsepower to keep up with him. It's looking at, oh wow. Timmy Hill had a big hop off the curb, a little contact. As Suarez checked up, Johnson just got to the inside of him, but not without a little contact. Oh, Suarez just moved Joey Gase. Sorry, that's Joey Gase, not Timmy Hill the whole time, but Suarez just moved Gase right in front of Johnson. Johnson had to check up because of it. 3 wide is... Look at this action right in front of us. We went 3 wide ourselves through that last set of corners. As Custer and Johnson tried to split the lap traffic of Joey Gase. This is getting very, very racy back here. Currently 17 people watching. Thanks for everybody tuning in here this afternoon. Again, the Coke 600 coming up later today. Still in the first half of this race at the Charlotte Roval. Pit stop has already been made by Johnson. The rest of the field still has to hit pit road themselves here. Keselowski. Oh, Bowman about took it 3 wide there. I don't know how that's going to work. Look at how tight Johnson got. He about got up into the outside wall. 3 wide through the front stretch chicane. How did they make it through there? There was a little bit of contact with Johnson and Boyer. Very hard for there not to be contact when that goes on right there. But Jimmy Johnson, like daring move. Oh man, another hit off the wall. Making me cringe every time we get into the wall, just knowing that I'm scared that we're going to DNF every time. Mainly because of the damage to the race car already as it is. Jimmy has lost a lot of time with that heavy lap traffic too. He's about 58 seconds off the lead. 10 seconds worse than what it was when he had come out of the pits. But he has moved up to 14th. About 5 seconds behind Truex in 13th. Truex pretty solid road course racer himself, as well as Kyle Busch, who's just ahead of him in 12th. But they are not off to a great start here today. Truex, of course, has won already this year. Kyle Busch is not. We're still looking good on points, though, to make it to the playoffs. As we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season. Just 9 races left before the postseason after this race today. And then, of course, Charlotte Roval later tonight would make it 8. So... you just wonder how long this race is going to take. For the simple fact of how much longer can Johnson go. You cannot afford to DNF here. Especially with Harvick having a competitive car and perhaps a shot to win the race today. Because Kevin Harvick, if he can just gain a ton of points on Johnson, if Jimmy DNFs, that would be very costly in the regular season championship lead. Gaming Hot Plays, welcome to the stream. Again, everybody new joining in, thanks for the new viewership, as well as the viewers that are already watching right now, just hit above 20. Watch at one point in time here. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, these full race live streams, realistic broadcast on the daily, along with other NASCAR related content. So here we go. Johnson gets around the first lap car in this small little group. Tyler Reddick now working on Matt Kenseth on the 42 to the outside of him. Look at Truex. Oh man, he checked up big time. Jimmy tried to get hard on the brakes. Kind of ran in the back of him. Johnson got to get to the inside of the 19. Battle for 13th rather going on right now. Look at Truex getting the power down immediately. Truex shoots the gap to the inside of the chicane there on Byron. Look at Jimmy, though, trying to take it 3 wide. Rodrigo Romo, welcome to the stream. How often do people just bump into each other? You don't see it as much as what we're seeing it already in this race with it being the early going. Oh, big hop off the curb by both the 19 and the 48. Johnson, excuse me, shoots the gap to the inside on Truex and passes him in turn 1 cleanly. Well done there by Jimmy. You see aggressive racing a lot later in the race. They move people usually if it's kind of a difficult way to explain it. Usually you see guys bump into each other intentionally if it's usually later in the race or they're holding them up for way too long of a time if they are much faster than them, is usually when you see the bumper be put to another driver. If there's a heated exchange from that point on, obviously things could spiral out of control, but usually you don't see it this early in the race. But I just think with how tight this road course is, being very difficult to pass on, and how tight, again, this track is, it forces the drivers to have to make difficult decisions, as you're seeing here today. But kind of a broadened way to answer that question, I guess. But it's like that on many racetracks, so it's outside of just this one. You get later in the race, guys are going to be a little bit more aggressive. But it depends on the driver, too, because there are a decent amount of clean drivers out there that, you know, wouldn't do that and try to pass them clean. But if it comes down to the last lap and you're there, you've been trying so hard to get around a guy that you're faster than, 9 times out of 10 you're going to see him pull the bumper on. Nice, thanks for subscribing there, Gaming Hot Plays. Greatly appreciate it. Almost to 400 on the road to 1,000. No penalties today for Johnson for cutting the course either. Well, right as I say something, my goodness, that couldn't have been better timing. Jimmy Johnson has to come to a complete stop in the backstretch chicane. Just cut the course going in. Green flag pit stop's about to go on. That's going to cost Jimmy some time. He's now just over a minute off of the race leader. Truex coming down pit road. A couple of the other leaders are still on pit road. So this is time for Johnson. Oh, to make up! Very light hit into the wall. That car was turned completely towards the wall there, but fortunately enough, it could have been much worse. Now, Almirola was in 5th place. Johnson has cycled about 5 seconds ahead of him. Chase Elliott about 6 seconds ahead of us still. Not sure if he hit pit road or not, though. It's just tough to tell exactly who is pitted and who is not, but Jimmy is back up to 7th. Johnson, remember, had short pitted about 10 laps before the rest of the leaders here. Back on lap 25, he had hit pit road. We're currently on lap 34. No caution so far today. We have seen one spin happen, and it was a battle for the lead between two Hendrick Motorsport teammates. Elliott checked up going into the backstretch chicane a little earlier than Johnson anticipated, got into the back of him. He went around for a spin. Never hit anything, though, nor did any other car hit him while he spun through the backstretch chicane. Great job keeping it off the wall, keeping his car clean, and you see Elliott is in 4th place right now. Johnson up to 6th now, passing another driver that was on pit road, and that was Kevin Harvick. Tried to stay out just a hair bit longer, so Johnson, another spot gained. Caution. First time today, caution is out with just 75 laps to go. And it was after everybody had cycled through the pits. Martin Truex Jr. is back on pit road. He might have been the cause of the caution. Brendan Gaughan in 21st will get the free pass, being the first driver 1 lap down. So 21 drivers will restart on the lead lap. And Logano will lead the field to the green here. So, man, went very long into this race before the first caution. Again, cycled through pit stops. Got about 36 laps in before that first yellow. So here we go. Johnson restarts in 6th on the outside. This could be tough. Logano leads the field to the green, and here we go into turn 1. Hamlin up to 2nd place. Johnson, oh, a little contact there with Blaney. Tried to duck in line to the inside as quick as he could. Blaney was side by side with Elliott, so he had to check up to make the corner. Look at Logano just take it off the restart. Very impressive restart by Joey Logano. Hamlin now into 2nd by himself. Elliott still battling for 3rd with Kurt Busch. Johnson at the inside of Blaney, back behind for 5th. 2 by 2. Johnson shoots the gap. 3 wide. Oh, a little contact with the wall. Oh, and Almirola just stuffs it into the corner under Johnson. A little contact made again. Ricocheting Jimmy into the 12 of Blaney. No spots gained or lost by Johnson on the restart. He's still in 6th. In fact, the top 6 where they restarted are all in the same positions. Another huge bounce off the curb. And Almirola, in return, is going to get by Johnson for position. Fastest car in the field, Logano leads this race. And again, he is just absolutely checked out from where Kurt Busch is even at from the restart. In 3rd. Again, we have been alerted multiple times throughout the course of the race with the damage to the race car on a possible overheating issue, but we have not seen smoke come out of the car yet, so that is a good sign. So Eric Jones just made a daring pass on the outside, clearing Jimmy Johnson there, and Eric Jones up to 7. Harvick. These are the two guys at the top of the regular season point standings right now, 7 seconds off the lead as they battle for 8th. Daniel Suarez coming through the field, he's up to 10th. Started at the rear of the field, remember, here today. Oh, Johnson, oh my goodness! I don't think he could have bounced off the curbing any worse there. Gives up a couple more spots to Harvick and Suarez. That is where you can tell it's a video game, because that would not happen in real life. Projecting like we did there. Pixelated, welcome to the stream. Look at Newman now going for 10th place on Johnson. Jimmy just does not have as strong as the car as he did in the very beginning of the race. Without the damage, he was looking like a top 3 car. Logano looked like he was a little bit faster, and then it was arguably close for second between Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson at the time, but Jimmy has definitely faded back in this one. And it's probably going to take some sort of pit strategy to get back into it, with maybe a help of a few cautions perhaps as well. But again, don't count him out. Johnson's finished in the top 10 all but 3 times so far this season. Hence, with that kind of consistency is why you see him leading the regular season point standings. I think we're going to have to keep an eye on Suarez. He could have a faster car than Logano if he can get the track position. He's up to 9th. Just over 40 laps, well, 40 laps complete exactly in the race today. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time at the start-finish line in this race as well. It's going to be probably very tough to see out of the front of the race car, I would have to imagine, with the in-car camera, with the damage to this 48 car that, again, is not repairable. Oh my goodness, this is going to be tough. Almost kind of got to look right out of the left front of the race car. It's the only non-blind spot. I was making these corners very blind, as you can see here. Oh my goodness. Overrunning turn 4. I mean, you absolutely cannot see a thing. Oh, wow. All of a sudden, Ryan Preece just forces it in on Johnson there. Johnson's just dropping back like a rock right now. He's back to 14th. Chicanes are going to be extremely tough to get on through. Oh my goodness! Well, we made it through there, no penalties, but Violent hops off the curbing. Oh, Another hit into the wall there for Jimmy. You absolutely just can't see some of these corners. What a drive this 48 car has had so far. Why am I driving out of this camera losing a bunch of time, by the way, you might ask? Because I guarantee over the course of each race that we alternate through the different camera angles at least a couple times, and that's why you're seeing it here. Go to pit road, repair the car. So that is also, again, I cannot repair the race car because of the damage. Simply because of my rules alone. We have a 5-second damage policy. Or if we have more than 5 seconds of damage, I cannot repair it. Forces me to have to run clean races, as I usually do. But here today, been a pretty sloppy race for the 48 team so far, not gonna lie. So that is why we have not repaired damage. We have had this damage since lap 15 in this one. Johnson just completely misses it. The corners that are hardest to see right now are those corners that have a very, very steep elevation change. Going to the top of the hill, we can see fine. It's right when you get to that peak before you start going downhill on some of those corners is where we're having a really difficult time trying to see the corners, especially with the damage added on top of it. This is going to be a big hit off the curb, too. Actually got through there pretty decently. This is going to be the last lap with this camera. I was just going to go 3 laps in a row with each different camera angle here. This is definitely going to be the last one. Out of the hood camera. Tires are about halfway worn out on this 48 car right now, too. Now, granted, again, we had a caution which had made for 3 caution laps. So that could obviously help as well on making this maybe even a little bit closer to a 3-stop race total. We've made only 1 pit stop up to this point. Once we get to 53 laps completed in the race, we will be halfway home. Already 31.5 seconds off the lead. Oops, didn't mean to change the camera angle there. I'm going to be honest, the way the DNFs have shaped this game, I did not think we were going to have a race with this much damage we'd have to run with. I figured we would DNF by this one, but we are very fortunate and very lucky that that has not been the case here today. What an incredible comeback it would be for Jimmy if we did pull off a victory nonetheless. I think he's definitely going to be lucky just to get a top 10 at this point. And pit strategy could definitely play a factor, but it's also going to depend with the pit strategy on if we get any more cautions and when they might come. We've only had one caution so far today. It's tough to say whether or not we're exactly going to get another one. We went 36 laps to start the race, through a full set of pit stops before we had to hit pit road. Or sorry, before that caution had come out, my bad. But, yeah, definitely a tricky situation here to say the least. Pretty good exit to that corner there. Getting the hammer down pretty quickly, but Johnson's still losing time. He hasn't caught lap traffic yet, and he is in the open quite a bit. He's slowly pulling back away from Boyer. Kyle Busch still about 10.5 seconds ahead of him, so a lot of clean air to work with right now. And no lap cars anywhere in the vicinity for Johnson, so he can just focus on keeping the car clean, running as clean of laps as he can around this very difficult racetrack, and then have to continue from that point on. I think he's just kind of got to run a different race than everybody else's own race. Definitely going to see him hit pit road a little bit earlier than everybody else again. Only seen him lead a few laps in this race today. And it was all within those first 15 laps, if you guys remember. Jimmy Johnson has now won at the Charlotte Roval in his career, I might add, as well. Now, we do race here again this season, but also Jimmy Johnson, this is only his third start at the racetrack, might I add. So it's not like he's had many attempts to win here, but he was close back in 2018 in second on the final lap, tried to make a pass through the front stretch chicane there for the win. Ended up locking the brakes up, went for a spin. Took out Truex in the process, and Ryan Blaney went from third to first to win his first career Cup Series, or sorry, not first career Cup race, but his first race that season. Of course, it came in the playoffs at a much-needed time for Blaney. Luke Jarvis 07, welcome to the stream. Commend the 5-second damage repair rule. Yeah, it's just a little something I wanted to add just to make this game a little bit tougher. Hopefully tell there's a little more difficulty compared to Heat 4 as it is, just with the DNFs alone, but willing to stick it out to the very end of the race. Now, don't forget, at Talladega, first time we went to Talladega this season for the Geico 500, we won that race with a damaged race car. Now, Kurt Busch was a driver that had pushed us to the win to make a last lap pass. We were able to hold off the rest of the field for the last quarter of a lap with a very damaged race car. Not like this, though. I believe we had 8 seconds of damage that day, which was slowing us down quite a bit. We couldn't make passes by ourselves, at least. But we had the drafting help, we were able to get the win. So don't count Johnson out of the race. He has done this before this season. Problem is, he's going to have to do it by himself today. No drafting help will be possible on a road course. So, plus, again, we have twice as much damage as what we had that day as well. So that only slows the car down that much more. Parker Fletcher, welcome to the stream. Austin Blake, also welcome to the stream. Jimmy's still losing time here. He's about 14 seconds back from 13th. And Jimmy has fallen about 39 seconds off the lead. If he can have a quick enough pit stop, he can still stay on the lead lap. That is the goal. Whatever happens, Johnson has got to stay on the lead lap today. Because, again, it's going to be very tough just to get a free pass position. Plus, if he falls a lap down, gets trapped a lap down, that is a very tough spot for Johnson to be in, knowing he doesn't have a very fast race car. I doubt he's going to be able to get that lap back. And we don't even realize if we're going to get another caution in the race, rather yet. If we did, would we only get one more? 59 to go. We've only had one caution to this point today. Matthew Chen, welcome to the stream. Maybe a two-tire stop. Yeah, that two-tire stop should keep us on the lead lap, I would think. It'd probably shorten the pit stop by 7 or 8 seconds. Now we're 34 seconds off the lead, so we've actually gained about 4 seconds in the last 2 to 2.5 laps. You can tell the race leader, Logano's in very heavy lap traffic, and that would be the reasoning, the case for that. Yeah, again, this definitely is a strategy race. The problem is, we get under 30% tire wear, and the grip level goes completely away. And the left front's at 43%, so if we took 2 tires, it would work for maybe 5 to 10 laps, and then we'd have to pit again anyway. And I just don't think that's worth the risk this early in the race. Now, for a final pit stop later in the race, I think that could be a possibility. For this next pit stop, on the other hand, I just don't think that's going to be a very good idea. And 2 tires again will loosen the car up as it is also, so yeah, definitely a risky situation to go to that strategy this early in the race. Back to 30. Lost a second again. Only one penalty today for missing the chicane. It was on the backstretch chicane, if you do remember. About midway through this green flag run, up to the point in which we are at right now. Johnson has been as far back as 19th in the race today, position-wise. He's been in the top half of the field all day. Keep an eye on that right front here. We're going to try to go at least a couple more laps, if at all possible. Johnson's going to stay out of the pits this lap at least. Seems like every time we hit the curbing too, it definitely wears the tires out quite a bit more also. We'll loose off the exit of turn 4 there. Oh, wow, big loose moment off the curbing. Right on the entrance of the backstretch chicane. One of the more difficult portions of the racetrack for sure for all drivers. Johnson stays out at least one more lap again. "55 laps to go. Cross flags are in the air. We are halfway home here today at the Charlotte Roval. And again, we have only made one pit stop as well as the rest of the field. Johnson short pitted. And he is about to short pit again. Pitted about 8 laps shorter than the rest of the field last time. He's currently 40 seconds off the race lead in 14th. Again, it takes roughly a minute 16 to a minute 18 seconds on average to get around this racetrack. Clint Boyer's definitely running down Johnson once again. Jimmy's about to hit pit road this time. And take it easy through the backstretch chicane. Braking a little bit earlier than usual. Just to make sure he gets through the exit of the corner. He will. Into oval turns 3 and 4. Jimmy Johnson going to hit pit road this time. First pit stop of the day. 40.5 seconds off the lead from 14th. Sorry, second pit stop of the day. And again, under green flag, much like the first time. 45 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Johnson onto pit road for a 4 fresh tire. Full tank pit stop. No adjustments will be made under this green flag stop.
The race is half over.
.6 second stop the first time, this time a little bit slower. 15.9 seconds under pit stop number 2 for Jimmy Johnson. Hoping to stay on the lead lap, perhaps. Coming out of the pits, nobody around him, so that's good to see. He's back in 21st. Currently last on the lead lap. He's about 76 seconds off the lead. So he's roughly only a couple seconds ahead of Joey Logano. But Jimmy is still on the lead lap after a 4-tire stop. And this is as far back as he has ran so far today. His fastest lap is a 1:17.530. Faster than any lap he ran in qualifying. That was much earlier in the race before the damage. Yeah, I'm afraid Johnson's not going to run that fast of lap times the rest of the day today. Oh boy, almost missed the backstretch chicane for a second time today. And he definitely can't afford that now, knowing that the difference between him and the leader is not as comfortable. The situation Johnson's in. Now he has gained a 1.5 seconds this first lap since coming out of the pits. 53 to go. So that's a good sign. 4 fresh tires paying off dividends here for this 4018. Now ideally, if a caution came out before the rest of the field pits, Johnson could stay out for the track position game and he'd restart in the lead. And he'd be right back into it again, which is what Jimmy is pulling for. That'd really make the strategy game work out to perfection, that is for sure. We're likely looking at possibly only one more pit stop the rest of the race as well. When we pitted just after the halfway mark, that was only our second stop. So there's a chance we can make it on one stop the rest of the way. The rest of the field's going to be a lot closer to being able to make it on one stop, knowing that Johnson has short pitted each of the first two stops. Will likely short pit on the third and final stop today as well. But he did go a little bit longer than what he did on the first run. Even without the caution laps, he did go a couple laps longer, and then the caution laps on top of it have definitely helped him. An extra 3 laps in that aspect. Big run down to the back of David Reagan. Johnson trying to get around him. Just can't do it right now. Ooh, Reagan, a little bit of a wheel hop going back up onto the oval. Johnson trying to get a draft off of him. Just not close enough to do it. Oh man, a little contact with Reagan. He goes wide. Oh, he comes back across the track right in front of Johnson again, and he stays right in front of him. And that is costing Johnson a ton of time. Jimmy Johnson desperately has to get around David Reagan. I believe Denny Hamlin's actually leading the race right now, and not Joey Logano, because I believe Hamlin is the next car kind of closing in behind us. Johnson sees that again. He's got to stay on the lead lap. He does not want to have to get the free pass. That would ruin the pit strategy game here. Johnson finally gets around Reagan, but it took him a lap and a half. And Denny Hamlin has closed the gap, being the leader, and Johnson will race Hamlin very hard. Hamlin kind of struggling with David Reagan though too. He had to try to pass him to the outside. He couldn't do it. So Johnson is pulling back ahead again. Oh, we got trouble on the backstretch. Eric Jones. No, that was Justin Haley. Sorry, Justin Haley with a huge crash off of oval turn 2 down the backstretch right before the chicane. Leaders are going to miss him to the inside, and we stay green. No caution. Thanks, Parker. That comment. Austin, do I ever get bored of the full-length races? Very rarely. Usually, if it's a race where I'm dominating by a lot, I tend to, and if it's long on top of it. Really the only times I ever get bored, but because I'm talking constantly with trying to broadcast the races as realistically and as best as I possibly can, tends to kind of help keep me motivated throughout the course of the race, I guess you would say. Johnson, a little bit of a wheel hop there, accidentally downshifted to first. He is pulling back ahead from Denny Hamlin again, though. He's only, well, he's still 77 seconds off the lead, but Hamlin for about 2 laps has struggled to get around David Reagan versus a lap and a half for Johnson. And look at that, Joey Logano has caught up to Denny Hamlin now. And Logano actually took the lead away from him because now Joey's stuck in line right behind the 36 car David Reagan. Again, this is helping Johnson tremendously right now. But Logano has now gotten around Reagan through the backstretch chicane. We're going to go to the regular camera now. 60 laps complete in the race. 49 laps to go. 48 though for the race leaders behind us. Hamlin and Logano have gotten around the leaders. Logano again arguably the fastest car in the field. Might have lost Hamlin in lap traffic, but because of the lap car of David Reagan, Logano again right back to the lead. Oh, Johnson really tight. And Joey Logano right there. NBC should hire me. Dude, that'd be awesome. That is the eventual goal someday, is to become a TV personnel, you know, broadcaster for actual races, and that was the whole reason of starting the channel. That'd be very cool. Definitely my dream job for sure. It's good practice to get this stuff out of the way too, you know, try to work out the kinks as much as possible beforehand. Johnson is absolutely blocking Logano. Hamlin is caught right back up to him again. Hamlin looking to make a move for the lead. Johnson pulls him slightly. Oh, but he gets really loose off the exit of the front stretch chicane. And here comes Kurt Busch in the mix. Hamlin lurking to the inside of Logano. He is there, side by side for the lead. Back behind Johnson. Allowing Jimmy to get away slightly there, side by side. And Logano able to block him and fend him off a turn 4. Kurt Busch now to the inside off the exit of the corner to try and pass Hamlin for second. Hamlin took a swing, he missed, and he's about ready to lose a spot because of it. John Hunter Nemechek just ahead of Johnson. He's already 1 lap down, in danger of going 2 laps down very shortly. Johnson's going to have to get through him and get past him pretty quickly. Jimmy again hoping for a caution. It would have been perfect if a caution came out for Justin Haley when he took that spin a little bit ago, but he didn't. Hamlin makes the move to the bottom now into the backstretch chicane. Johnson about overran it again. Logano runs Hamlin wide. And they're still side by side. Kurt Busch trying to make a move behind him. Oh man, is he going to? He almost took it 3 wide. Played it smart. He's just going to duck in line behind Denny. And Hamlin to the lead. At the line officially, 46 to go for the leaders. Remember, they have not hit pit road either yet for their second pit stops of the race, like they will at some point in time. Johnson going to get past Nemechek about as quickly as he could have. Hamlin tried to follow Johnson through there, but he couldn't do it. He got pinched off in the center of that corner, as now he's trying to pass Nemechek around the outside. It doesn't work. Kurt Busch is up to second. So he has gotten around Joey Logano. Top 3 under a blanket. Kurt Busch to the lead off the exit of the backstretch chicane, and Kurt Busch overtakes Hamlin and the lap car of John Hunter Nemechek. Hamlin and Logano still stuck behind Nemechek though. As Kurt Busch now tries to add on to that race lead. The problem is going to lie right now as he closes in on Johnson once more. Jimmy's going to fend him off as he has done so far to Hamlin and Logano. Now he's got to do it to Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch looking for his first win of the season. In fact, Hamlin, Logano, and Kurt Busch have not won this year. So there's a very good possibility today we can get a new winner on the season. And a 7th different winner to lock themselves into the postseason. Kurt Busch is absolutely pulled away from Logano and Hamlin. Johnson tries to outbrake Kurt Busch, and boy, he did. But Kurt's going to have that better exit speed. Definitely more horsepower carrying in that one car. So the 2 Camaros continue to run nose to tail, with Kurt being behind Johnson for the moment. Pulls him again through the front stretch chicane that time. Jimmy seems to be a little better on the front stretch chicane than the back stretch, especially on exit speed. And then he carries it well into turn 1, which is arguably his best corner of the racetrack. So seems to be where Johnson gains the most time. More lap traffic in the near future ahead of Kurt Busch as well. That could cause him even more problems. Oh my goodness, a huge hop a couple times there that time for Jimmy. Caution is out. Caution is out for the second time today as Johnson was able to hold on to the lead lap for every bit of about 10 laps. And that is going to give him the lead. With 45 to go, second caution. And that is exactly what he needed. And the best part about it is nobody can make it on pitting at this caution. It'd be roughly about 6, 7, 8 laps short on fuel. So no matter what, there's going to be one more stop yet today. That could have been better for Jimmy. Now he's got to hold on with these guys on fresh tires versus Jimmy being on the fresh tires. So this will be interesting. Clean air out in front. Johnson leads the field to the green. Just 41 laps to go. Oh, and he about overruns the first turn. Logano to the inside, and he's blocked off. But Logano is able to make the pass from third to second on Kurt Busch as Johnson tries to drive away as much as he can, but the field behind us really got organized a lot quicker. How about Almirola going for fourth on Hamlin. Johnson a little wide again. Here comes Logano. Contact. Joey tries to send the 48 wide. Here comes Kurt Busch back for second place again. They're side by side for second, and Kurt's going to overtake Logano on oval turns 1 and 2. Will that have been the final restart of the race today? Oh, man! But another big hop off the curve. I don't even know how Johnson was able to hold on there. But nonetheless, now Joey Logano will take the lead as Kurt had to check up. And look at Ryan Blaney in the mix. Back in fifth all of a sudden. He hasn't been in the top 5 all day. But he is now. Johnson back to the gas too soon. Door slams Logano. Cannot hold on. Jimmy's got to send it into turn 1. And he could not get around Joey Logano. That might have been his last chance to hold on to the lead. Logano now tries to drive off. And Jimmy might be left for dead here at this point. Look at this line of traffic stuck behind Johnson. Logano is already pulled out to about a 1.5-second lead. And this is costing Kurt Busch a ton of time. He knows he can contend with Logano. He was leading at the time of that last caution. Jimmy's got no horsepower. He is not going to be able to catch up to Logano unless heavy lap traffic, but Logano's going to pull away so much before we even get to lap traffic. I don't even think that's going to matter. I think what's going to have to happen is Jimmy's going to need another lucky caution in this race from the time he has to short pit for that final stop to the time the rest of the leaders pit to get back into this one once again. And it happened once already. It can definitely happen again. He was able to hold on for one lap, and that was about it. Too strong. Now, luckily, Jimmy, again, still in second for now. And even if we get another caution before everybody pits, that would work too, but probably more beneficial for Johnson if he short pitted and got to the lead right back again. And again, remember, these guys are on fresher tires, on top of the fact that they have much faster cars. Logano out to about a 3.5 to 4 second lead now. Great set of corners. Oh, wow, Kurt missed the chicane. Well, he didn't miss it completely, but he has allowed Almirola to get to the inside. Remember, Eric has performed well both at Watkins Glen He had arguably one of the fastest cars there, as well as at Sonoma. Finished in the top 10 in both races, third at Sonoma. And a 7th place finish at Watkins Glen. Almirola looking for his first win of the season. He's right on the cut line right now as far as the playoff standings go on points. It'd be a huge win for that 10 team if they can get to victory lane today. Now, Joey Logano also has had history on road course races this season. Remember, at Sonoma, it was Johnson who, yes, won the race, but it was Joey Logano who did not lead an entire lap that day, almost stole the win on that green-white checker, a side-by-side photo finish with Jimmy Johnson at the line, in which Johnson got the win that day. Well, something similar happened in fashion today at the Charlotte Roval. Yeah, I didn't completely flip, but I was on, I was pretty much on my side though, that's for sure. It seems like we've been able to kind of, I don't want to say shortcut the backstretch chicane, but we have not gotten penalized as much as you would think. I think Heat 5 seems to be a little bit more lenient than Heat 4 through that backstretch chicane. We missed it once, but that was on an entrance through that first turtle on the left side, not the right side. Johnson's actually maintaining ground ahead of Almirola. I don't think he's got as fast as a car as Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick behind him, but he's fending him off good, and that's allowing Johnson to kind of maintain his ground now and not have to battle as hard for second. Almirola back within a second of Johnson again. A little bit too far behind to get a draft off of Jimmy at this point. See what I mean though? It seems like we can slightly cut it without getting black flag. We've been able to do that all day, and we haven't gotten penalized for it. We did get penalized for cutting underneath the one on the left side. Side by side for second. Kurt Busch to the outside. A daring move off the exit of the chicane to try and pass Almirola. They're still side by side, and Johnson's able to slightly pull away again, despite being 7.5 seconds off the lead. But even if Johnson doesn't win the race today, just to finish, let's say, second, how much better of a run that would be for this 48 team compared to what it was looking like for a while there. We were back at 21st, about to go a lap down. But we have avoided this enough. Definitely had a much better restart this time than what we did the prior time. Granted, we had the track position restarting from the lead instead of on the outside in 6th, but still, that has definitely helped also. Jimmy gonna, if we can, we're gonna try to make it to about 25 to go before we pit. This seems to be the sweet spot. We're able to run 25 laps or so before the tires fall off of the car. Oh no, Johnson had to get hard on the brakes on the exit of the corner, or he was gonna end up hard into the wall again. Oh, and Kurt Busch is gonna go around. No, he doesn't. What a save by Kurt in turn 1. Johnson got into the back of him there. Kurt checked up behind Almirola. Almirola takes off with second. All of a sudden, the battling has gotten more intense. Kurt definitely lost a couple spots. That could have been much worse for him, though, as he hangs on in 6th. Hamlin in 3rd now, Johnson in 4th, but Kevin Harvick, driver he's battling for again in the regular season championship standings, is trying to get around him for 4th. Yeah, that Coke 600 for the second race of our doubleheader today is going to be right around 7, 8 o'clock later on today. We're going to move the start time. It was originally supposed to be planned for about 5, but they accidentally started this race a little bit later. Therefore, in return, it's going to end later. Therefore, in return, once again, we're not going to be able to get it going at 5 o'clock likely, so. Alistair Moore, welcome. Welcome back to the stream. Oh, Harvick about got under Johnson. Johnson almost ran too wide off before. How about Ryan Blaney trying to get back into the top 5 again? He has gotten around Kurt Busch for 6th. Johnson is like barely holding on, and now he bounces it off the wall. Harvick's going to get to the inside now. Johnson off the wall again. Very unfortunate set of circumstances there. How about Ryan Preece? What a great run he's had as he passes Johnson for 6th. Preece having a stellar day. Remember, his teammate Stenhouse already won at Martinsville this year, so he's in the playoffs. Ryan Preece, not a bad road course racer. Making some gains here at the Charlotte Roval today. Oh yeah, for sure. We're going to have some races tomorrow. So we got Daytona and Talladega, the next 2 races on the schedule. Those are supposed to be 2 more of the 4 total races this season, in which are going to be kind of short in length. So both of those races will be tomorrow. So we got an 80 lapper at Daytona and a 94 lapper at Talladega, I believe, will be the lengths on those 2 races for the Cup Series. So, yep, another doubleheader tomorrow. And I'll promise you, those will be the last doubleheaders for a while on the channel. So we got a shot for another new winner today in the Charlotte Roval. Coke 600s pulled off some upsets over the last couple of decades, and Daytona and Talladega coming up. Very easily we can go from 6 different winners to 10 just like that. Again, as we get later and later into the regular season, but still as of right now, 10 spots open for the playoffs. Coming into the race with 10 races on points. So as long as we have a repeat winner at least one more time this season, as long as that happens at least one more time this season, we will have drivers that will lock themselves in on points for sure. And Kurt Busch is dropping back like crazy too. Remember, he was in 2nd place initially off that restart where Logano had passed him. He has fallen all the way back to 9th. "31 laps to go." We pit now, we can make it on fuel, but again, don't want to pit quite this early. Ooh, accidentally dropped it to 1st gear in turn 4. We are getting closer and closer to the end of this race here today. Johnson still camping out in the top 10. I have to assume Logano is still in the lead with how big of a lead he had, even just a few laps off of the last restart, which had happened with 41 to go. Again, only 2 cautions so far today. That is tied. If we get to the end of this race caution free, that would tie the least amount of cautions we have had in the race all season. Because we had 2 back at Sonoma earlier this year, and as well in that 3rd race of the year at Pocono. So kind of an interesting stat line there. Oh, Johnson running it very hard. Almost missed that front stretch chicane. Very well through the first 2 corners though on the next lap. Again, Johnson trying to pick up his first career win at the Charlotte Roval. A lot less stress in this race compared to what could be on the line in the playoff race, with it being a cut line race in the round of 16. Oh man, another big hop. The only reason we didn't lose a spot that time is because they were side by side through the back stretch. She came behind us between Kurt Busch and Eric Jones once again. Chase Elliott, who has fallen back to 10th, trying to gain a couple spots here as well. Remember, he started on the pole today, led the first 10 laps, and that was it. Once he lost the lead, he is not even been close enough to sniffing it once again. Makes a good pass on Kurt Busch as Kurt Busch continues to move backwards since the restart. He's in danger of falling outside of the top 10 all of a sudden. Remember, he was leading before that caution with 45 laps to go. Thanks there, Called 88. Streams are part of what makes my day too. Glad to bring you guys the entertainment. Commentary, the action in the race in general. Since NASCAR Heat 5 has kicked off, it has definitely been very entertaining, to say the least. And that includes this race here today. I'm still surprised. Back on lap 15. Jeez. I guess we're just going to keep having big hops off the curb until we get to the checkered flag. Elliott almost got underneath Johnson as well. Johnson loses another spot. He's back to 8th. And even more damage now on the right side of that race car for Jimmy. It is now blinking red on that little monitor, and that is not good. Chris, welcome to the stream. Kurt Busch trying to get back around Elliott for 9th. Johnson gonna have to make a pit stop very soon anyway. Again, cannot repair damage for those of you that are new or just tuning in. We are well above the 5-second damage policy that I have. Kurt Busch, by the way, did get around Elliott for 9th behind us. Johnson still camping out in 8th place. He's trying to make it to the finish. Making it to the finish is goal number 1. At this point, getting the win is goal number 2, but we're still going to try to have the strategy to get to the end regardless. I would not be a very happy camper if I DNF'd on the last lap. That would be so unfortunate. After all we've gone through in this race, I'm not even sure of how many drivers are out of the race up to this point, if any at all. Remember our truck race at Phoenix last night, we didn't even have any DNFs. We took Chase Elliott to victory there on pit strategy in the last 10 laps. 15, I mean. from that last restart. We only had 4 cautions in the race total last night too, so. About 24 seconds off the lead. Kurt Busch all over the back bumper of Johnson, looking for the position. Johnson a little loose. Oh man! Desperate block on Kurt Busch, about turned himself off the front bumper of the one. Side by side into the front stretch chicane. Johnson gets out of the gas early to keep from wrecking, to make sure he can make it through there, especially the very worn out right front. And that allows both Chase Elliott, Suarez, and even Stenhouse to get on by. Johnson loses 4 spots that last lap and fades back to 12th. Trying to get back around Stenhouse for 11th. I wasn't going to pit there, but even if I wanted to, I couldn't get to pit row with all those cars lined up to the inside. Johnson gets back around Stenhouse for 11th. Ricky trying to double cross over Jimmy Johnson. Oh, Stenhouse about turns Johnson, and instead he turns himself. Stenhouse goes around in the backstretch chicane. I don't believe anybody hit him as he got into the back of Jimmy Johnson. That about turned the 48, and return turns the 47 of Stenhouse himself. Jimmy stays out another lap. Again, trying to make it as long as he can before he has to pit. 25 laps to go. But he's within that window for his tires. Johnson can pit now. And really loose again. Truex is up to 12th, Kyle Busch 13th, both catching up to Johnson again, but Jimmy Johnson will hit pit road this time with 25 to go to try and short pit on the leaders again. He's currently about 28.5 seconds off the lead. Now 29 seconds off the lead by the time he hits the pits. Final pit stop of the day for the 4018. 4-tire stop, can't speed here. 45 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Gets down in time. Actually take 3/4 of a tank of fuel. It'll be plenty to get him to the end. Again, a 4-tire stop, no damage for repair, and no adjustments. What a race. Johnson, a survival of the fittest type of race. Now has to stay on the lead lap and hope for another caution at this point on. The later the caution comes before they hit pit road, the better for Johnson. So less laps he has to hold on for. 15.8 second stop, so the third stop was an in-between point of the first stop, which is the fastest, and the second stop, which is so far the slowest. Johnson back out onto the racetrack. 66.5 seconds ahead, so he's a little further ahead of the race leader than what he even was under that last green flag run. So from the time he came out of the pits, he's got 4 fresh tires now. He's currently back to 21st. Last car in the lead lap is Austin Dillon in 22nd. 22 people watching here, late going of the Charlotte Roval. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Qualified 11 for the Coke 600, nice. What about the tape on the grill? Yeah, we have enough damage there. I really don't want to put more tape on the grill. I could have taken some off to take some of the pressure off of it, but I don't know how much that would have helped. Guess it's too late now. Well, can lightning strike twice? Can Johnson get another lucky stop a second time here? It's not impossible. 394 subs, nice. Got 3 more over the course of the stream today. Anybody new watching, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I believe we can get to 400 by the end of the Coke 600 tonight. I think that is possible. Especially getting closer and closer over the course of this one. Grandmaster 2000, welcome to the stream. Or sorry, Garrett Master 2000. Misread that. I'm playing on PS4. Yeah, Johnson is not going to pit the rest of this race. It's now or never with the pit strategy and the damage. How has this car survived this far into this one? And again, it's not like ourselves we've hit the wall hard too many times. Really, it was hitting the wall hard once. And then things piling on from that point, making slight contact with other cars here and there, which has damaged the car to the point in which it is damaged right now. But I mean, you gotta figure, even with this much aero damage too, the handling usually isn't that great. And we're still surviving, running about as clean laps as you can with this kind of damage on a race car. Kudos to the driving of Jimmy Johnson here today. Hoping for a caution, but that caution has to happen before everybody else hits pit road. I expect they can go anywhere between 6 to 8 laps to go before we see the rest of the field hit the pits. If they do try to take it as long as they can. So I would assume that would have to likely be the case. Very well done through the front stretch chicane again there. Just 21 laps to go. The leaders are coming around to get 20 to go this time by. Gained a little bit of time on these fresh tires. We're now about 62 seconds off the lead. Remember, we were about 66 seconds off when we first came out of the pits. So time is being gained with these fresh tires despite the damage. So Johnson, again, will be able to hold on to the lead lap positioning no matter what, it seems like, to the end of the race. Jimmy crosses the line for 20 to go that time. So again, we are very late in the race. 90 laps complete at the line this time for the race leaders back behind us. Logano's had by far the fastest car today. Even before we had the damage to the race car, it seemed like Logano was going to be the guy to beat in today's race. I wouldn't say we even had the fastest car. We probably had about a second or third fastest car in the field, right along with Kurt Busch. And Johnson get the caution. 24 people watching here. Most we've had one point in the stream all day today. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in. At 25. Definitely been a fun day to say the least. Hectic at times, but we have gotten this 48 car to survive despite the damage on the car. Rip Reaper, welcome to the stream. 27, here we go, people. Our record for the most people watching at one point in time on the channels for the Daytona 500. We had 29 people watching at the end of that race. We're up to 27. We might be able to break that record here in the Roval here today. Again, championship mode season, chase for 8 with Johnson. Regular season race on a custom schedule. We're already locked into the playoffs. We got the regular season championship lead over Harvick, who is definitely beating us up to this point even before we had hit the pits. Running inside the top 5 at the time. Simmons Sports Network, welcome to the stream. But for sure, here we go. Definitely getting down to crunch time. And again, will the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson get a caution before the rest of the field hits the pits? Yep, Simmons, I definitely remember. Joel, welcome to the stream. Just to kind of rephrase what had happened earlier in the race in a similar situation, Johnson had short pitted, as he's been doing all day for pit strategy since we have gotten this damage on the race car on lap 15. Been driving off the pace compared to where the leaders have been. We were able to short pit, stay in the lead lap, barely got the caution last time, cycled to the lead, held on to the lead for about a lap under green flag conditions before losing it. And we were in second place for every bit of about 10 laps at the start of the run. Despite the fact Logano was able to get away. Similar situation now. We have short pitted. We do not have to pit the rest of the race. The rest of the leaders do have to pit. We're 69 seconds off the lead, so we're not going to be able to cut that lead down if it stays green to the end. We might have a shot at the top 10 still, but that's pretty much about it. Shots of winning the race are gone unless we get a caution before the rest of the field pits. And from the time that caution came out where they had hit pit road with 41 to go, they can make it anywhere between 6 to 8 laps to go on fuel before they have to pit. So we still have about another 10 laps we can run to hope for that caution. And the later it comes, obviously, the less laps Johnson will have to hold on. But at the same time, that is even fresher tires that the leaders will have to the end of the race. But there is still hope for the 48 team to pull off a miracle with a damaged car to win here today. That is for sure. 28 people watching. Now we're one. I would like to break that record if at all possible. Need 2 more people. This could be intense for sure. Oh, wow. 31. There we go. Well, that jumped quickly. We've just broken a record on the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Most people watch at one point in time. Mr. Pizza, welcome to the stream. Only 2 cautions today, so hoping for a caution is not going to be very easy either. They have come few and far between. Roberto Sandoval, welcome to the stream. 32. Let's add on to the record. Why not? That is awesome. That is awesome, guys. Appreciate the support. If anybody new is watching, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We have full race live streams on the daily. We still got one more coming up today. Remember, a doubleheader. We run the Coke 600 later on tonight. Start time is going to be anywhere between 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have realistic broadcasts to go along with these full race live streams. Johnson just trying to survive to the end of the race, let alone have a shot at winning if he gets the yellow. Thanks, Garrett Master, for subscribing. We haven't even really seen many incidents today either to add on to that. Pittsburgh Tags, welcome to the stream. Yes, we are doing playoffs. 10 race playoff. So we only got 9 races left of the regular season after the Charlotte Roval concludes here today. 34 people watching. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 35. This is incredible. We completely smashed the record by just 6 people in the last stream. That is awesome. That is awesome. Jackson Thomas, welcome to the stream. $401 subs? Are you kidding me? That's sweet, man. That is awesome. I didn't even think we were that close. We were at 394 when I checked like 50 minutes ago. Under that first caution, I think, is when I checked. That's awesome. Well, regardless of what happens at the finish of the race, that has already made my day. As well as the Coke 600 later tonight, but hopefully we can put on a good finish for you guys. 14 to go. Johnson gets around Christopher Bell on the outside going into turn 1. A little bit of a power move. Bell a little bit slower, but Johnson does have the damage on the car, regardless of the fresh tires or not. Still in 21st. 95 laps complete. Manuel, welcome to the stream. Thanks, man. Bell almost got back around Johnson that time. 13 to go now for the leaders, though, you have to assume, too. So, again, they're close to their pit window. They will likely be pitting anywhere between 5 to 7 laps from now. Johnson needs a caution to come out before that moment to cycle back into the lead to even have a shot to win the race. We've seen crazy restarts today, even though we've only had 2 cautions. We've seen crazy racing even on the long runs despite not having a lot of cautions. It's been a very hectic race today. Oh, man. There's a big hop off the curb that time. Jimmy almost ended up into the wall. We've seen that a couple times. Right off the exit of that front stretch chicane, we have seen near accidents quite a bit today. Both chicanes, might I add, but more so with the front stretch. Remember, that is where Johnson picked up the heavy damage back on lap 15 earlier today as it was. Gamer Playboy, welcome to the stream. Yeah, next stream, Coke 600 later tonight. Again, doubleheader live stream. It's going to start anywhere between 7 to 8 o'clock, likely, Eastern Standard Time. Perhaps, so. Longest race so far of the season, 2 hours and 46 minutes. I would not be surprised if that one went over 3 hours, but it's a crown jewel event, so hopefully we'll have a good showing. As far as the race in itself. Johnson's even ran down Chris Buescher and Cole Custer. Remember, he was about 13 seconds behind him when he came out of the pits. And we're right back to about a 66.5 second lead, roughly. Right where we started the run. Guys are getting very worn out on their older tires the longer they stay out, but I think they're kind of hoping for a caution to pit. They're not worried about Johnson. I think they're safe that they think they can get back around him before the end of the race if we did get another caution. Side by side, Bowman takes it into the backstretch chicane there. Oh, Cole Custer takes it 3 wide as they try to split Quinn Houff. Instances like that, you wonder if there could be a caution. I don't know how he made it through there. Look at Chris Buescher getting a run. So is Johnson. Great crossover on Buescher for 20th. Jimmy sends it 3 wide into turn 1 also to make the pass there on Cole Custer for position. Barely clears him. Johnson up to 19th. Bowman, Carter, not too far ahead of Johnson for positions as well, but again, they have to pit, so Jimmy will cycle way ahead of these guys again eventually. Through the lap traffic, now 70 seconds off the lead, but absolutely sends it. Oh, into the wall though. Dropped it to first gear, got really loose. That was definitely on accident. Oh, 3 wide, back onto the oval portion of the track. Johnson underneath the teammate of Alex Bowman in the lap car of Matt DiBenedetto. What a run, what a pass for 18th by Johnson. Ten laps to go already in the race. Johnson about to hit 10 to go at the line. Leaders will be pitting here in about 2 to 4 laps. Likely. They cannot make it to the end of the race on fuel. Will we get a caution in the final 10 laps to give Johnson another shot at it? And that caution has to come out before the leaders hit the pits. Is there a place where I shared my custom schedule? It's on that very first video for sure. I went through it on the first live stream, so it'd be underneath the Truck Series race at Daytona for NASCAR Heat 5, and I have the schedules for all 3 series on what they look like. I will be starting weekly schedules on Twitter. If you want to follow me, just started a Twitter account. I will start later tonight posting out the weekly schedules as far as what they look like for the rest of the weekend this week, and then starting by each weekend full at the end of the weekend. So you can follow me on Twitter at NASCAR Fanatic 99. So follow me there. I'll be posting schedules of when I will be streaming, and I'll have the times available as well as far as what tracks, what series, and whatnot. Wow, look at Johnson trying to power pass Carter, a little contact. Jimmy on the outside into turn 1. Jimmy up to 17th. Just keeps chipping away. Andrew, welcome to the stream. Oh, Johnson runs wide. We haven't seen him do that today, especially in that corner. Oh, Carter about ran into the back of Johnson now. Jimmy was going through the AstroTurf in the infield portion of the racetrack there. Right around turn 6 and 7. Taking it easy now into the backstretch chicane. The leaders have not hit pit road. 8 laps to go. And now they are on pit road, so never mind. Some of the leaders have pit, but not all of them. Johnson, this is the time to make up ground. Jimmy did not get the caution he had hoped for. We last went green with 41 laps to go. So again, last went green with 40 laps left in the race. 41 to go, sorry. Johnson cycled into 12th right now. Not sure how many more drivers are still ahead of him that have to pit. Caution would still possibly be nice. I mean, I don't know. It's a risky situation if a caution comes out now that everybody's cycled through. Because Johnson on much older tires and restarting mid-pack. I don't know how that would work out necessarily, but maybe he can gain a couple more spots here if not everybody ahead of him has pit. Again, I think some guys can make it to 6 to go, perhaps. Johnson only 3 seconds behind Newman, who is in 11th currently. He's running him down, too. He's only 2.5 seconds behind him now. He gained a half second through the backstretch chicane alone. So there is even still a chance for a top 10 for Johnson, despite the damage. And Newman had not pit. Neither did Kyle Busch. So, yes, Johnson into the top 10. Up to 9th place, it looks like right now. 7th. Wow. Look at how much time he gained from short pitting there. That's absolutely incredible. Jimmy Johnson knocking on the doorsteps of a top 5. He's just about 2 seconds behind Harvick, and Harvick's got lap traffic around him as he just came out of the pits. And that is huge because Kevin Harvick is second in the regular season point standings behind Johnson. 15 playoff points go to the regular season champ. So we do have something to race for after all here today. Johnson trying to desperately get around Michael McDowell. He will. Harvick struggled for a minute, but once he got around Byron, he's really kind of pulled away. Jimmy to the outside of his Hendrick Motorsport teammate there. Byron lets his teammate go. And now he's about 3 seconds behind. And Harvick has a lot of clean air to work with, fresher tires, less damaged race car. Maybe not even damaged at all for that matter. But now we're in position now. At any time before the finish of the race, and you never know what could happen. And there are still a couple more guys on pit road. I don't know if the rest of the leaders have still pit or are pitting or what the situation is there, but we do have 6 to go. So just 6 laps left here at the Roval. Once the leader takes the white flag, the next flag will end the race. This would be the longest green flag run of the day to the end of the race, 41 laps. Again, just 2 cautions total, and quite a big gap to Chase Elliott, who was in 7th. He was the pole sitter in this one, led the first 10 laps, and that was about it for him. Elliott is 7 seconds behind us, so I don't think he's going to be able to catch us in the final 6 laps, unless he gets a little help from perhaps some lap traffic. This is way better than anyone could have asked for as far as the race results would go. Even Johnson just finishing in the top 10. And even just making it to the end of the race is an accomplishment of itself. To have this much damage since lap 15 and just be able to survive pit stop after pit stop, not being able to repair the damage with our 5-second damage clock rule. It's just incredible that we have made it this far. Just 5 laps to go. There's no sense of trying to push it hard. It doesn't look like Johnson's going to be able to catch Harvick unless he gets some help. There are still a lot of lap cars that have not pit yet. A lot of the back marker cars, so maybe it's a chance for a possible blown tire there that could bring out a caution. Not impossible. Elliott has narrowed down the gap on Jimmy Johnson over the last couple laps. He's now about 5 seconds off the lead, but I still think he does not have enough time. Although he's cutting deeply into the lead. Remember, Johnson's running a little bit softer, just trying to take care of the car. Elliott gets closer, he might have to run a little harder the last couple laps, but that's about it. I mean, Jimmy's got 15 lap or so older tires on a road course. That is a huge, huge difference. 4 to go. Why am I not using the steering wheel? So I alternate between the steering wheel and the controller. More often than not. So far with NASCAR Heat 5, I haven't used the steering wheel too often. We were having a little bit of technical issues with it disconnecting in the middle of a race, and at one point in time it costed us because we had DNF'd in a truck race at Vegas with the disconnecting, so I'm a little leery on it. I have used it once since. I used it at Michigan on Monday night in the Cup Series and had no issues with it. We went on to win the race. So that's part of why I haven't used it, and it's a lot easier to do these realistic broadcasts when I'm not using the steering wheel either, that I've come to find out when using the controller. Not as much going on at once, I guess, but that is the main portion of these full race live streams, is giving it the realistic feel, the realistic broadcast. So Elliott losing a little more time to Johnson. He's battling for 7th with Eric Jones now. That it's costing him a little bit of time. I think Jimmy will get a win in real life this year. I still think so. So my preseason prediction, on my preseason predictions video earlier, way before NASCAR started, I had Jimmy Johnson winning at Talladega. And here's why. It would be dumb luck, yes, because of the statistical reasons, but at the same time, there are 3 7-time champions in NASCAR. Richard Petty, Dale Sr., and Jimmy Johnson. 2 of which have retired already, obviously, for one reason or another. Richard Petty, Dale Sr. Both of their wins came on super speedways as their final career wins. Richard Petty won at Daytona in the July race. And at Talladega, Dale Sr. got his last win in the year 2000. So by dumb luck, and with the racing gods on his side, I think Jimmy Johnson will win at Talladega this year in the playoff race. Whether he makes the playoffs or not, that's my prediction. Johnson right now about 33.5 seconds off the lead, roughly. Now just less than 33 seconds off the lead. 2 laps to go at the Charlotte Roval. Will there be a caution? You see Logano just getting onto the oval portion of the track. Just past us there. I'd have to assume he's still in the race lead. Harvick only 6 seconds ahead of us all of a sudden. Does he have an issue? That would be huge. I think it's just the lap traffic costing him a little bit of time. Once Logano or whoever the leader is right now takes the white flag, next flag will end the race. And it doesn't look like we're going to get the caution. I believe Logano has taken the white flag already at this point. So white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at the Charlotte Roval. Not a win, but it feels like a win knowing what kind of a race Johnson's had to go through even just to finish in 6th. Elliott starting to gain time again on Johnson. He's about 4.5 seconds back, but again, likely won't see a battle there. And Harvick was falling behind. He's starting to pull away again. Just 1 lap to go. Just Johnson has to make it 1 more lap in this 109 lap race. Just 2 cautions total here today. That will tie for the least amount of cautions we have had in the Cup race all season with Pocono and Sonoma. He will lose just 1 point to second place in the point standings, Kevin Harvick. which although is a loss, it could have been a lot worse if we would have DNF'd. Ryan Preece, yep, up to 8th. He's having one heck of a race. We saw him up in 6th at one point earlier. Must not have had as fast of a pit stop. So the checkered flag is in the air. Not going to make the call on who won it exactly yet, but I believe Joey Logano, if I had to make a guess, has won this race. If so, that would be another new winner on the season, our 7th different winner, to lock themselves into the playoffs. And Johnson will bring it home in 6th place at the start-finish line there. That is going to work. Yep, Joey Logano gets the win at the Charlotte Roval here today by quite a wide margin over Denny Hamlin. About 7 seconds. So first win of the year for Logano. If you take a look at your running order here, Logano first, Hamlin second, Blaney with a great run in 3rd, Almirola 4th, Harvick rounds out the top 5, Johnson 6th, Elliott 7th, Preece in 8th with a great run, Eric Jones 9th, and Kurt Busch, who had arguably the 2nd fastest car in the race, finished 10th. So did not have very good luck on that last restart. We never got another caution the rest of the way here in this one. 19 drivers finished on the lead lap in the race today. And only 3 DNF, Justin Haley, Chad Fincham, and Ty Dillon. Dillon, remember, was inside the top 5 at 2nd at one point in time in the first half of the race, but unfortunately he DNF, brought out that first caution. So that was a very tough break there for sure. Take a look at the point standings here. Yeah, best friends 1-2. Yeah, nice. So Jimmy Johnson loses 1 point to Harvick here in the regular season point standings at the finish of this race. Johnson still has a 42-point lead over Harvick going into the Coke 600 later tonight. Coke 600, although Charlotte Oval, somewhat easier racetrack, to say the least, with it being 1.5 miles, it is still a 600-mile race, so that'll be tough to get to the end one way or another. Logano led the most laps, 81 of the 109 laps led. Again, he was the fastest car by far. Suarez came from the back to the front. He had a fast car also, or not to the front, but mid-pack, finished 12th. Again, like I mentioned, Ty Dillon had the tough break of the race. Yeah, I didn't see how long the race was. Let me check that real quick. So, 141. So, yeah, so 2 hours, 21 minutes total time of the race. That's about average. Usually takes about 2.5 hours or so for a race. Usually, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. Coke 600 will be a little longer one tonight, but hopefully you guys tune in. Our 3rd Crown Jewel event of the season. Coming off of a heartbreaker in the Brickyard 400. In the last Crown Jewel event, we did win the Daytona 500 earlier this season as well. So we have something to look out for there. That is going to do it here for this one. I'll see you guys in the Coke 600 later tonight. Again, start time 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Follow me on Twitter for schedule updates as far as when I'll be streaming next. That will be hopefully out by the end of the night. That would be at NASCAR Fanatic 99. Subscribe, though, most importantly, for more daily NASCAR content, such as these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast. Gratefully appreciated. We just hit 400 subs during the course of the stream today, so thanks for that, everybody, supporting me throughout this series, this channel in general. And I'll see you guys later tonight again. Have a good rest of your afternoon.